All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another full day of eating. I have a new diet to show you. Oh my God, new diet. It's really not that different from the last full day of eating video that I posted, which was about 2 months ago now, or so. The two main differences between today's full day of eating and the last one that you guys would have seen, number one is the amount of calories. The last full day of eating video that I made, I was eating about 4,500 calories per day. And at that point, I was at the peak of that current bulking phase. Since then, I did a mini cut where I dropped my calories pretty aggressively. And I lost about 10 pounds in about 8 weeks or so. And then since then, I have reversed my calories back out into where I'm at right now. So today is a rest day, and I'm eating 3,700 calories per day on my rest days right now. And I'll just say this right now, the only thing that's different between a rest day and a training day for me is on my training days, I have an intra-workout shake that has 50 grams of carbs and 30 grams of protein in it. So if you do the math, that comes out to about 320 calories difference. So I eat 4,000 calories on my training days and 3,700 on my rest days. And the only thing that is different is the intra-workout shake. The 5 meals that you're gonna see today are gonna be the same, whether it's a training day or whether it's a rest day. And then the second thing that's different between this full day of eating video and the last one, which I just mentioned, is that I am having 5 meals instead of 6. This has actually been a really big positive change for me. To a certain extent in bodybuilding, you're always gonna be a slave to the food, but I was kind of realizing and noticing that having 6 meals per day was really making me more of a slave than what I needed to be. And switching to 5 meals has not only allowed me to be more productive with my day, because I'm not working for an hour, hour and a half, and then taking a break to eat, or, you know, eating and then having to cram other meals in. That was one of the problems that I was running into, especially on my training days, is I would get home from the gym and it would be 6, 7 o'clock at night, and I would still have 3 meals to get in before trying to get to bed between 10 and 11. So I was cramming a ton of food by the end of the day. And I'm not someone who's very hungry when I wake up in the morning, so front loading and eating a ton of food in the morning doesn't really work super well for me either. So for me, I was having to cram food, and it was leading to some digestive issues. So by simply moving from 6 meals to 5, I'm still able to get all the food in, all the macros in, all the fruits and veggies and everything. But I'm just not eating as often, and I don't find myself being like mentally a slave to the food. Slave is really kind of just the best way to put it. You know, when you've got a lot of food to eat and then you're going periods of time where you're not eating, you're kind of realizing, shit, I'm gonna have to cram all of this in towards the end of the day, and that sucks. So switching to 5 meals has not only been good just for efficiency and just quality of life, but it's also been a lot better for my digestion. Today's a good example of the time efficiency thing. It's about 10:30 in the morning. I woke up at about 7:30, and I have not eaten my first meal yet. So normally when I was having 6 meals per day, I was kind of feeling this pressure that, you know, within an hour or so of waking up, I would have to eat, or within an hour and a half or so of waking up, I'd have to get a meal in. But When I have one less meal per day, I can kind of spread those meals out a little bit longer. And since I'm not super hungry in the morning anyways, this really kind of gives me an opportunity to kind of push that first meal off a little bit and then get a really good head start on my work day. That's probably been the biggest impact that I've noticed with this new diet, is that I can do more work and I can work in like longer shifts without stopping to get a meal in. And that has obviously just made the time efficiency part of my day a lot more time efficient. So it's been a really good change for me to set my diet up this way. And I guess without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into meal one here. All right, meal number one. By this point in the day, like I said, I've been up for about 3 hours. So by this point in the day, I've had a liter of water, I've had about 12 ounces of coffee, and then I'm finishing up this monster. So I've had almost about 2 liters of fluid at some point during the day. This is normally my post-workout meal on a training day, but on my rest days, I have been usually doing this as my first meal. This is 60 grams of Rice Krispies cereal, 1 scoop of whey. I use Dimetize ISO 100, 2 cups or 480 milliliters of fat-free, lactose-free milk. And then I have 150 grams of blueberries and then 100 grams of spinach in here. This is kind of the biggest change and probably the most notable change that I made from the last full day of eating video. In the last full day of eating video, I was having 4 food meals and then 2 shakes. And now I'm only having 1 shake with 4 food meals. This is my first meal of the day on a rest day most of the time, just because as I'm sitting here working, I don't really want to cook eggs and all of that stuff for breakfast just yet. I want to get my work finished before I do that. So normally this is my post-workout meal on a training day. When I come home from the gym and it's time to eat, I really usually have no appetite. So doing a liquid meal like this is always great after the gym. But a liquid meal like this is also really good for when I'm trying to get my check-ins out as quick as possible, because I can literally just drink this as I'm sitting here working and I don't have to stop. Whereas the next meal that I have, which is normally meal 1 on a training day, eggs and all that type of stuff, that I obviously have to take time to cook that and everything. So just kind of trying to be efficient with the work day and just kind of get everything done as quick as possible. With this meal, I will have 10 grams of fiber powder. Hopefully, you can see that in there. I don't want to spill it all over the table. And then I'm going to have some health supplements, 400 milligrams of BCM 95 curcumin. This is about 1.5 grams of fish oil. There's about 750 milligrams in each one of these. And then this is new. This was not in my last full day of eating video. This is ashwagandha, 600 milligrams of KSM 66 ashwagandha. The last full day of eating video that I made, I was cruising on 125 milligrams of test per week. And as of today, I'm about 3 weeks into my cycle of 500 milligrams of test per week. And the biggest thing that I notice when I increase my dosages is my anxiety gets noticeably louder. It just gets worse. I mean, there's really no way to put it other than that. So the ashwagandha is in place to help combat that. There's some good literature on ashwagandha helping fight cortisol and manage stress and anxiety and all that type of stuff. So that was not in the last full day of eating video, but it is in the routine now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this first meal in while I finish up my check-ins for the day, and then I'll catch you guys probably back here at the desk for meal 2. Okay, meal number 2. On a normal day, this would be meal number 1, but like I said, I just wanted to do the liquid meal in the morning and just get all the work done for the day. This is breakfast sandwiches. I've shown this on pretty much every full day of eating video for a while. So there are 2 English muffins here, 2 pieces of cheese, 2 whole eggs, and then there's 130 something grams of turkey sausage split between the 2. I do weigh everything, so the English muffins are usually somewhere around 120 grams for 2 of them. The cheese is like somewhere between 40 and 45 grams. I do weigh the eggs as well. I've seen some pretty big discrepancies with eggs. I've bought eggs before where the container says that each egg weighs 50 grams. And so if I were gonna have 2 eggs, that would be like 100 grams, right? And I've had times where I've cracked 2 eggs and they're way below that, like 70, 80 grams. And then I've had times where I've had 2 eggs weigh like 140 grams and they've just been huge. So I do weigh everything. I admit it's probably not necessary. I don't have any of my clients do that. So that's just me, honestly, being super anal and super particular about my goals. But it's not necessary to do that. You could easily just track it as 2 eggs, 2 pieces of cheese, 2 English muffins. The turkey sausage, obviously, I would weigh out the same. So that's the main course. And then with that, I'm gonna have some fruit. Again, this is an apple and I weigh it. I think today's was like 140 grams. It's usually somewhere between 120 and 150 grams for an apple. I am doing Cosmic Crisp apples right now, which are pretty good. Previously I was doing Honey Crisp, but those are actually like a little bit more expensive than some of the other apples. And I just kind of got sick of eating Honey Crisp all the time, so I just wanted to try something different. So this is a Cosmic Crisp, and they're pretty decent. I don't hate them. I do hate Red Delicious apples. I would never eat those. And then the final thing that I'll have with this is 1 cup or 240 milliliters of 100% apple juice. Man, I think the apple juice is the best part of the meal, honestly. Something about drinking apple juice just reminds me of being a kid, and I love apple juice. So I do make sure that when I buy fruit juices, though, that they have no added sugar. The only ingredients that should be in your fruit juices, like in this case with apple juice, the only ingredient in there is apples, water, and then this one has some vitamin C added. If I could find one that didn't have vitamin C, I would grab it, but I don't. So 100% apple juice, 1 apple, breakfast sandwiches. This is my highest fat meal of the day. That is purely circumstantial. When you're in a calorie surplus, I mean, let's think about this. The definition of surplus means that your body has more materials than what it needs. And so when you're in a calorie surplus, I find the concept of nutrient timing to be a little bit less important. And I still think that nutrient timing isn't really super duper like something to be anal about, with the exception of kind of being in the dog end of like a contest prep or a fat loss diet. So obviously that is not where we're at right now, and I'm in a surplus. So there really is no like major rationale between having high fats with my first meal or no fats like post workout. When my calories get high enough, like there's gonna be fat in every meal, you know, that's just how it's gonna be. But for now, this is just purely circumstantial. But because this is my highest fat meal of the day, I do take my fat soluble health vitamins with this meal. I guess it's a good thing that I just dumped them so I can show you. This is vitamin D2 and D3 and K2 together. This is a little bit extra vitamin D3. And then this is ubiquinol. So I will take those with this meal, get this down, and then we'll see you guys for meal number 3. Hello, welcome back. Meal number 3. So this is about 250 grams of chicken breast, raw weight. Everything that I say, by the way, today is raw measurement. So 250 grams of raw chicken, 60 grams of raw rice, and then I have half a cup or 120 milliliters of bone broth in here. And I've talked about the bone broth a lot on my full day of eating videos. It's great for your gut. It's a good source of glutamine. Tastes awesome. It's a good source of collagen. And this is only 60 grams of rice, which is about 50 grams of carbs. But as the off season progresses and as my food gets higher, it's not uncommon for my meals to have 100, 120, sometimes 150 grams of raw weight rice in them. And when you get to the point where you're eating these like massive bowls of rice and meat, turning it into kind of like a soup with a liquid like the bone broth just makes it so much easier to get down, and it just tastes so much better too. And then I have this flavored with some citrus sea salt that I got, which is like just a sea salt that has some lime and orange zest in there. Tastes awesome. And then I have 60 grams of the Frank's Red Hot Buffalo Sauce. This does have calories. When you take a look at the bottle, the serving size is for 15 grams. But when you look up the European label, Europe has different rules and laws for their nutrition labels. When you look up that particular sauce on the European label, for every 60 grams, it's about 15 calories. So I do use 60 grams of that, so I do track those 15 calories. And then I have some fruit here. This is 150 grams of strawberries. On a training day, this is my pre-workout meal. This meal digests so unbelievably well. There's like hardly any fat in here. Chicken, rice, and strawberries just sit so well on my stomach. And then the buffalo sauce actually has a ton of sodium in it. I do not purposely eat the buffalo sauce pre-workout because it has the sodium in it. That's just purely a coincidence, but it does help, I guess, having that pre-workout. So the buffalo sauce has single-handedly saved chicken breast for me. You know, I've been bodybuilding for, I don't know, probably 7-8 years now, and have eaten a lot of chicken. And I, at one point, was not really dreading, but the chicken meal was my least favorite meal of the day. And then I hadn't bought this buffalo sauce in a long time, and I bought it again, and it has just saved this meal for me. I genuinely look forward to this meal every single day. What I'm thinking about doing the next time that I go to the store is getting some ranch seasoning, like the ranch dressing, but in the seasoning packets. And I bet if I put a little bit of that on here, have like a buffalo ranch chicken, I bet that would be awesome. So anyways, we'll eat this, and then this is meal 3, so we'll catch you here for meal 4. Okay, time for meal number 4, which is essentially a repeat of the last meal that we had, but with a couple differences. So instead of 250 grams of chicken, this has about 250 grams of beef. I'm using round steak right now, which is basically what most butchers will grind into the 96% ground beef. So I just use the steaks, buy the steaks, slow cook them, and shred them. I have posted that on my TikTok if you guys want to go see the way that I do that. But 250 grams of steak, 60 grams of rice, which is the same, 120 grams of bone broth, which is the same. To flavor this, I use 50 grams of salsa, and I typically will use a salsa that my mom makes. My mom has a garden and every year makes a ton of salsa, and her salsa is really clean. You know, it doesn't have any preservatives or anything in it. It literally only has tomatoes, jalapenos, onions, and that's it. I mean, literally nothing else. I actually don't have any of my mom's salsa in the house at the moment, but I have a different salsa that I use from the store that has basically the same ingredients. And then for seasoning on this, I'm actually using a fajita seasoning right now from Kinders, which is delicious. But I do use a lot of that seasoning. And that seasoning actually has sugar in it. One of the first ingredients is brown sugar. So I use about 8 to 10 grams of that on this meal, and I just track it as 8 to 10 grams of sugar. Whether or not it's direct one-to-one, I'd rather overestimate than underestimate. So that is the main part, and then 150 grams of pineapple. This has been a staple meal for years. Beef, rice, pineapple. For some reason, I really like the pineapple with the beef, but this has been a staple one forever. And we'll go ahead and get this one in, and then we have one more meal before bedtime. All right, guys, it is bedtime. I am super tired, but I have one more meal to get in first. This is meal number 5. So this is 450 grams of plain, non-fat Greek yogurt. These are 900 gram containers. So obviously that means that I would get 2 450 gram servings out of one container. So every other night, last night I had 450 out of this. I put it in this bowl, and then I know there's 450 left, so I just eat it out of the container for the second serving of it. I've posted this also a lot before, but I flavor this with 25 grams of unsweetened baking cocoa. And then that is really, really bitter, and so it needs some sort of sweetener. So I use about 4 grams of stevia in here as well. And then I have 60 grams of oats, oatmeal oats. I have 1 gram of stevia in here, and then some cinnamon as well. And then I have 150 grams of raspberries that are mixed in here. Some nights I'll put like 75 in the yogurt, 75 in the oatmeal, or 50 or 100 or something like that. I just kind of felt like having it all in the yogurt tonight, and then just have a ton of cinnamon in the oatmeal. So we'll go ahead and get this meal in and then get to bed. Got a big training session tomorrow. Tomorrow is full body A, so we're starting a new rotation of the training split tomorrow. So really looking forward to that session, and I'm super tired, so I want to get to bed early so that I can get a really good night's sleep and then wake up and kill that workout tomorrow. Total calories and macros for the day are going to be somewhere up on the screen. It's going to be somewhere around 3,700 calories and somewhere around 300 grams of protein. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you've got any questions or anything, please leave those as a comment in the video. If you're interested in coaching or any of my other services, you can find that on my website, which is in the description below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, then you should. You really should think about it. And as always, guys, take care of yourselves.